Tonight on CTV News at 6, fire in the French Quarter.
We left no shoes, nothing, just the cats.
Homes and a daycare emptied as flames grow. The province is making life more difficult for so-called predatory tow truck operators.
Drivers should not have to worry about being taken advantage of by the people who are supposed to show up and help them.
And it's almost showtime.
5, 6, 7, 8.
A preview of the Edmonton Fringe Festival.
There is something for everyone at Fringe.
Thunderstorms avoided the city through this afternoon, but we are still looking at a pretty good chance of some showers, thunderstorms, and rain overnight tonight and tomorrow.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. Nearly 24 children at a local daycare woke up from their afternoon nap to the sound of fire alarms. A fire in an apartment in the same building forced the kids and tenants outside. Nariman Issa joins us now live from the Bonnie Doon neighborhood. Nariman, you spoke with two people who live next door to the apartment that caught fire. What did they have to say?
Well, Jeff, they do live in the apartment next door. That's the one with the netting. Now, they tell us that at first they smelled the fire and then they saw it, and that's when the fire alarms went off. And they said that they were in such a rush to get out of their apartment, they didn't have time to put on their shoes.
We heard a bunch of popping, and I heard people down below screaming fire. So I looked outside and saw smoke and fire next door. We left no shoes, nothing, just the cats and her. And yeah, our neighbor across the way was, fortunately, I met him like an hour before this happened when I was on my way home, and he gave me a pair of shoes.
Michael McLean says he doesn't know when they will be allowed back in or if their apartment was damaged. Fire crews were called to this apartment complex on 87th Avenue and 91st Street just before 2 p.m. A fire broke out on the first floor in one of the suites. It's believed there are 8 units in the 2 stories, plus the daycare on the main floor. Crews were able to contain the fire within a half hour.
We did a very quick attack from the outside. They hit it from lines from the outside to hit the balcony. They knocked down the balcony very fast. Then they made entry into the building, and they encountered very light smoke. Didn't go to any other suites.
Now, the district fire chief says everyone was accounted for, including the pets, and no one was hurt or required medical treatment on scene. A cause has not been released yet. Now, as for the daycare, I spoke with one of the employees, and they didn't want to go on camera, but they tell CTV News that they are grateful for the community's support. Now, when this fire broke out, it was nap time for the 21 kids in their care. They had to wake them up. They had to usher them out of the building. They said that is when people in this area came in to help them, bring them out to safety. They even provided some snacks and water until their parents could come and get them. And so right now, they don't believe that there's any water or smoke damage. However, they do have to make sure that everything is good to go. They will be closed for the next couple of days. They hope to reopen on Monday. Back to you, Jeff.
Nariman, thank you. Police are looking to identify a man accused of sexual assault and believe there may be more victims. Police say in early July, a woman was trying to get an Uber in the area of 113th Street and Jasper Ave around 1:30 a.m. A man offered her a ride home, drove her to a residential construction site in the Blatchford neighborhood, sexually assaulted her, and then left her there and drove off. The man is not an Uber driver and did not identify himself as such. Police say the man stated his name as Pharaoh and said he was from Egypt. He's believed to be in his late 20s with facial hair and a muscular build and has an accent. He was driving a black Audi car. Investigators are asking anyone who may have interacted with him to come forward. Alberta Health Services is warning of potential measles exposure. AHS says a person who was infectious spent time at the Century Mile Racetrack and Casino July 26 between noon and 7 p.m. The person was also at the Costco near the airport between 9:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. on July 27th, and later at the IHOP in South Edmonton between 11:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. AHS says anyone in those places during those times should monitor themselves for symptoms of measles, which can include a fever, cough, and a rash. The provincial government is making it harder for what it calls predatory tow trucks to crowd crash scenes. While supporters say the new rules will prevent people from being taken advantage of, some tow truck drivers say more needs to be done to prevent bad actors. Connor Hogg reports.
Unfortunately, there are some dishonest tow truck operators in Alberta.
Transportation Minister Devin Dreeshen says those drivers will be punished by the new rules the province is bringing in.
We will now be requiring tow trucks to stay at least 200 meters away from a collision scene unless instructed otherwise by police or the driver of a damaged vehicle.
Tow truck drivers who enter the new exclusion zone uninvited will face a $1,000 fine. The province and police are hopeful the rules will deter predatory truckers.
Drivers should not have to worry about being taken advantage of by the people who are supposed to show up and help them.
In May, EPS charged 10 Edmonton-based tow truck companies with fraud. Police say they were demanding people use their services at crash sites, inflating bills, overcharging insurance companies, and refusing to allow access to vehicles. Police say those charges haven't stopped reports of predatory towing. AMA says it hears about it daily.
Individuals that find themselves broken down on the side of the road or involved in a collision where maybe one or multiple predatory towers are coming towards them.
People are running scanners on the fire trucks to go to these accidents.
Tow truck driver Trevor Barlow says the city needs set rates per tow. He also wonders how police will enforce the rules at crash scenes when they don't go to every crash.
I've been in this industry 35 years, and I really have never seen any policing of it.
Anytime that we don't have attending emergency services, whether it's police, fire, or ambulance, it creates perhaps fertile ground for these unethical operators.
The province says it's looking into more ways to curb predatory towing, such as a mandatory tow truck certification system and forcing rates to be publicly posted. The new 200-meter rules take effect this Friday. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The province has Edmonton's bike lanes in its crosshairs. Transportation Minister Devin Dreeshen says the new lanes on 132nd Ave are problematic and work to cannibalize lanes of traffic. He'll be meeting with Mayor Amarjeet Sohi soon to discuss what comes next. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
This section of 132nd Avenue has had a new look and feel for about a year, part of a multi-year neighborhood renewal project.
This was a place where people just tore down it, right? Fast. It was like a drag strip because it's sort of hidden and it's a wide road.
Now there's only one lane each way for cars with permanent bike lanes on either side, separated from the road by boulevards.
It's way, way better. People are actually yielding to me around here now. I'm waving to people instead of flipping them off.
While some cyclists feel safe enough to go hands-off, the provincial government is going hands-on.
We've seen, obviously, 132nd Avenue being a really problematic bike lane.
Transportation Minister Devin Dreeshen has had Edmonton's bike lanes on the brain since April, suggesting the government could intervene in projects it finds problematic, possibly even ripping them up. He met with Calgary Mayor Jody Gondek last week to discuss the issue and plans to meet with Mayor Sohi next week.
We've heard, tons of petitions and lots of people have been writing in saying that that is a bad four-lane major thoroughfare that's going to be shrunk in half.
Minister Dreeshen insists bike lanes are fine as long as they don't take away travel lanes for cars.
There's more and more drivers in Edmonton every year, and to reduce the road capacity for those vehicles is the opposite of what we're doing as a provincial government.
The provincial government should do things in their provincial jurisdiction. Leave the damn cities alone.
This man believes the avenue is over-engineered. There's no need to have bike lanes on both sides of the street, but he rides them 5 days a week anyway to stay fit.
I mean, they're here. I paid for them with my taxes, so I'll use them, but they're totally underutilized. I hardly see anyone on them.
Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The first light rail train car for the Valley Line West LRT is now in Edmonton. The city says it came from a Hyundai facility in South Korea, crossing the Pacific Ocean by ship before finishing its journey by truck from Washington. The city calls it a major milestone for the project and a sign of momentum for the Valley Line West. The train cars will continue to be delivered through 2027. Construction on the Valley Line West is expected to wrap up in 2028. Artists and actors are ready to break a leg at the Fringe Festival next week. Preparations for the theater festival are well underway on and around White Avenue. As CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti reports, organizers say there's a show for everyone.
5, 6, 7, 8.
It's nearly showtime. The Fringe Festival is ready to pull back the curtain and showcase more than 200 productions next week.
Tickets aren't more than $20, so you really can afford to take a risk on something creative, something fun, something you haven't tried before.
Beyond the laughs and sounds inside the theater, people can experience the best of the arts outside too.
We'll have live music every night. It's free. You don't need a ticket, but there's so much to see and do.
Everyone is welcome, including some long-tailed rodents who snuck into the province.
We are the last two rats in Alberta, and we decide one day that we need to take the province of Alberta to court.
Organizers say the cost of putting on the festival increases every year. They're looking to double their monthly donors to keep up.
We want to get over 1,000 monthly donors joining the movement so that we can ensure we're here for many generations to come.
35 porta potties were adopted last year for $250 each. They will display names chosen by the donors. One of the festival's sponsors, Sea Change, has brewed up a way to help with donations. Proceeds from each can will go to the festival.
The Fringe Beer Tent Blonde Ale is just incredible, and it's going to be sold all summer long, not just during the festival, and that's really special.
While thousands of visitors will enjoy the shows, the actors are also excited to be part of the audience.
It's so fun seeing how out there art is and how so many different types of things are being put on throughout the Fringe.
Yeah, we get to make things that we wouldn't get to do anywhere else, and we just get to try new things, and everybody supports each other, and it is my favorite time of year, better than Christmas.
The 11-day festival begins next Thursday. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Thousands of athletes are arriving in Edmonton ahead of the 2025 Alberta Indigenous Games. Athletes began checking in today at the Edmonton Expo Centre. More than 6,700 athletes from Treaties 6, 7, and 8 in both Canada and the United States will compete. The event features 18 sports, including basketball, ball hockey, softball, lacrosse, and soccer. The spirit of the Games centers around its theme, Coaching Youth for Life, Career, and Sport.
Our games are unique in that they're like the only one that I know of that's to this scale that anyone, any Indigenous kid, First Nation, Métis, Inuit, Native American, if you live here, can come and play and participate.
I feel like every single year I make a couple new friends because like there's.
The games get underway tomorrow and run until next Saturday, the 16th. The Edmonton International Airport is giving travelers a new way to connect with local Indigenous businesses. Travelers flying into YEG today were greeted by a celebration of Indigenous culture as the airport hosted an Indigenous artists market. The event showcased artwork, clothing, and jewelry from roughly 20 vendors from around the region. The market also included performances like drumming and throat singing.
When you take a look at the vibrancy of what some of these artists are doing and giving them that platform, that space for them to be able to showcase their wares is so critical in ensuring that we continue on with this reconciliation journey here at the airport. It's incredibly imperative and important to us here that we truly recognize the culture and the First Peoples that were here.
Organizers say they plan to bring vendors back around the holiday season. People in Cochrane, west of Calgary, are cleaning up after a major storm flooded the streets with water and hail. The Sunset Ridge neighborhood was hit hardest last night. Rivers formed on the streets carrying a layer of icy pellets. It created miniature lakes throughout the neighborhood in low-lying areas. Some people decided to have a little fun during the flooding. No houses or cars were seriously damaged. That does look like fun, Josh. Nice hot day. Let's go for a swim in the hail.
No, thank you. Although there was some hail that formed from those thunderstorms just off to the east and northeast of the Edmonton area earlier this afternoon. Here's a look at where those storms are right now. You can see they developed almost in the exact same spot as yesterday, just east-northeast of the Edmonton region. They're now way off to the east and northeast, and we do have a couple of severe storms there around the Vilna area, just north of Glendon. Still a severe thunderstorm warning, that one little dot of red for those cluster of storms, although they do kind of look like they're weakening now in the last 15, 20 minutes. Yellow zone is a severe thunderstorm watch. I think most of that area will probably have that watch canceled in the next little bit. And then the green zone, which actually extends all the way north through Barrhead and up towards Slave Lake, that's a rainfall warning. Most of that rain's going to fall tomorrow. It will start tonight, but by the end of tomorrow, could see 50 to 75 millimeters worth of rain in through that area. Here in Edmonton, now, the storm clouds looked pretty impressive earlier this afternoon if you were looking east-northeast. And they still look fairly impressive, just not as nasty as you look through the CTV drone right now. Partly cloudy skies hanging over the city. Temperatures currently in the city sitting at 28 degrees after hitting a high of 29 earlier this afternoon. 5 degrees warmer than average. It is going to cool down in a big way starting tomorrow, though. Chance of some showers or periods of rain overnight tonight and tomorrow morning. Could see a few scattered showers tomorrow afternoon, just 18 or 19 for a daytime high. Let you know how long that cooler air sticks around in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, hopes for a liver transplant.
It's been pretty tumultuous, I would say. It's been hard watching him get so sick.
How a living donor could make a difference, also ahead.
As soon as you buy a ticket, you're making a life-changing difference.
The Stollery launches its Mighty Millions lottery. What prizes are up for grabs?
Brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
The number of E. coli cases linked to an outbreak at the Saskatoon Berry Farm near Okotoks has risen again. Alberta Health Services says there are now 68 probable laboratory cases of E. coli. That's up from 49 on Friday. 4 people have been hospitalized, with 1 patient still in hospital. AHS says people who ate or drank at the farm between July the 1st and 18th may have been exposed. The farm's restaurant and bakery remain closed during the investigation, but other areas are open. The farm says water it uses for irrigation and rinsing has been deemed safe. An Alberta couple is spreading the word about live liver donation as they await a donor to save their toddler's life. CTV's Alicia Fieldberg met today with the family.
Giggles and smiles continue despite all of the equipment hooked up to 18-month-old Colby. He has a rare genetic condition called Alagille syndrome, which impacts his liver, and he has been in the hospital for months.
Yeah, it's very hard.
He can't walk or stand right now and has to take several medications. Colby's doctor says he needs a liver transplant.
Oh, it would be the difference between life and death for him. The priority is to get an organ to make sure that, we can get Colby back on track.
It could come from someone deceased or a living donor who has a surgery to remove a piece of their liver.
The liver is like a worm. You can cut a piece off and it'll just regrow. But unfortunately for Colby, because of his genetic condition, his liver can't regenerate and repair itself.
It is a major surgery, so there are risks associated with it. But overall, the donors do very, very well.
While Colby remains in hospital, his family is trying to make the most of the time they can all spend together and hope they can find a matching donor soon.
It's been a struggle for the family. We have high hopes, and we're believing that things are going to change.
Having a donor transplant for Colby would be life-changing.
And not just for him. Colby's family and doctors say donors could change the lives of about a dozen children in the area that need liver transplants.
That huge impact that organ donation can have for the community and specifically for patients like Colby.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
Colby needs a donor with type O blood who is healthy between 18 and 55 years old. The Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation has launched its annual Mighty Millions lottery. This is the lottery's 10th anniversary. This year's grand prize is worth $2.5 million and includes a fully furnished, nearly 6,000 square foot home in Cameron Heights and $100,000 cash. There are also car and vacation prizes, along with a bonus prize, Oilers season tickets. Money raised will go towards buying specialized equipment for the hospital and research.
The best part about the Mighty Millions lottery is that as soon as you buy a ticket, you're making a life-changing difference for Stollery kids across Western Canada. So for the past 10 years, Albertans have stepped up and they've shown their mighty support. So together, we have raised millions of dollars and helped millions of kids, and we hope that you do that one more time for us this fall.
Tickets are available online at mightymillionslottery.com. Coming up, a flexible outdoor exercise option.
What's your favorite part about it?
It's free.
Calm and connection at an Edmonton Community League.
Should be nice and dry through at least the next couple of hours, but we do have some rain in the forecast for overnight tonight and tomorrow, and a few more showers Friday as well. Your forecast is next.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
An Edmonton Community League is offering an outdoor exercise option flexible enough for any budget. Organizers say it's growing in popularity and hope it will bring in support for the league. CTV's Sasha Petramala has more.
Set your hips nice and low. The right knee is over top of the ankle.
At the same place kids can often be seen lacing up for all kinds of sports, the Cumberland-Oxford Community League is inviting people to join an hour of calm and connection.
Get outside, also get some exercise, bring your friends and neighbors along, meet some new people. That's really what we're trying to do in our community.
And we're going to do this 3 more times.
Yoga in the Park is back for its 6th summer.
It's really grown over the last few years, and even every class. You see an extra few people as they walk by, see what's happening, and then they join the next week.
Organizers say the classes not only offer physical benefits, they also provide a space to reconnect with neighbors.
And I just really want to share all the benefits with other people.
Instructor Savannah says teaching yoga has helped her mental health.
Learning that you can slow down and just do what you need to take care of yourself and your well-being.
Yoga in the Park happens right here at Hudson's Park for the rest of the summer, every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Best of all, it's free of charge. What's your favorite part about it?
It's free.
The Community League is asking for support elsewhere.
We'd love for people to buy the membership and do it that way. So versus paying per time, we'd love for them to support us and buy a membership.
Whether you're a seasoned yogi or stepping onto the mat for the first time, Yoga in the Park is for everyone.
Just want everyone to feel welcome. So I try to make my classes very accessible to anyone, even if you've never done yoga before.
The Community League hopes attendance numbers will continue to grow.
It's nice to give an opportunity for people to get out, exercise, and enjoy those spaces around us.
Sasha Petramala, CTV News, Edmonton.
Sweep your arms up overhead as you...
All right, Josh, the last of the hot weather today.
Yeah, it was a good day for outdoor yoga today. Maybe not so much tomorrow and Friday. Although I don't think it's going to pour all day, both days. Take a look outside right now with the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace fixed rider, it's free. We're under partly cloudy skies and sitting at 28 degrees after hitting 29 for a high earlier this afternoon. 29 as well in Fort McMurray for the high. 26 in Grand Prairie and into the mid-20s. Red Deer, Lloydminster, Coronation regions. Severe thunderstorm warning. We mentioned the fact that those storms look to be weakening. Well, they've dropped the warning now. They were indeed weakening. Still a severe thunderstorm watch for the areas in yellow. And then this green zone, Edson, Evansburg, all the way north. It actually does include Barrhead, Slave Lake, and into the Valley View region. It's just that you also have that watch in place. All those areas could potentially see 50 to 75 millimeters worth of rain. There will be some heavier pockets. Parts of that region won't get 50. But there will be some pockets of 50 to 75. I think almost everybody in that region is going to see at least some rain, though, and that is a particularly parched part of the province, so they could use some of the moisture. Thunderstorms here across the northeast, a little bit in through east central Alberta, although, as we mentioned, all non-severe for right now. Skies are pretty clear around the Edmonton area, aside from those patchy small clouds. Back through the foothills, we had some thunderstorms in some of those regions at the same time last night, and then they all fizzled out before they hit the Edmonton area. We may see the lightning disappear before it hits the Edmonton region, but I don't think the rain is going to completely disappear. See that twist right there? You have a big upper level low, and that upper trough is going to swing across. We'll get a new surface low that develops somewhere around or just off to the southeast of Edmonton tomorrow, and so that's what's going to help to kick in some of that steadier rain, which should start overnight tonight for areas further to the west. You still have a chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms here north and east of the Edmonton region, and maybe even 11 p.m. midnight, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. I think it's more like a chance of showers, though, through the late evening hours. That flips over to some rain for tomorrow morning. Heaviest of this will stay off to the west of the city, and it won't be continuous, but there will be rain in the area through most of the morning hours. Should break down a little bit through the afternoon. And then watch this twist around this low pressure system. That's going to start to drag some of this precipitation back through the Edmonton area Thursday night. And then off and on through the day. Friday, you get some scattered showers. So as we said off the top, I don't think it's nonstop rain for tomorrow and Friday, but especially tomorrow morning and then later in the day Friday. Those would be your most likely time frames for some wet weather. 28 degrees in Fort McMurray, 28 as well here in Edmonton right now. It's 22 in Grand Prairie and 23 in Red Deer. Temperatures overnight tonight should slide to about 14 degrees with some rain starting late this evening, overnight tonight. Most of that falling through the early morning hours tomorrow, and then mostly cloudy, gusts to around 40 kilometers per hour. A lot cooler, high of just 18 or 19, and just a 30% chance of a scattered shower tomorrow afternoon. Few hit and miss showers on Friday with a high of 20. We're back into the mid-20s for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then the long-range forecast puts us back into the low 20s through Tuesday, Wednesday of next week.
Thank you, Josh. Still ahead, potential trouble for some travelers.
This will be a test for the Carney government to see whether they have the intestinal fortitude to let, labor relations work its way through this process.
10,000 Air Canada flight attendants could soon strike, and
I got to ask the people, do you trust President Trump?
Ontario's premier says fasten your seatbelt as Canada continues to negotiate a trade deal with the U.S.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Air Canada now has 10 days to negotiate a new contract with its 10,000 flight attendants. As CTV's Judy Trin reports, the union says it has an overwhelming strike mandate and turbulence could be ahead for passengers.
Mike Abraham has booked a flight to Slovenia for a bike tour. He's scheduled to take off just as Air Canada's flight attendants are poised to strike.
Even if I was to actually try to rebook it now with either with Air Canada or with a competitor, say a European airline, the price would be at least 3 times as much.
Air Canada's 10-year contract with its 10,000 flight attendants is expiring. The union representing the workers says better wages and working conditions are needed. Flight attendants average 35 hours of unpaid work each month.
We're not paid anytime the aircraft is not in motion. So any of the pre-flight checks, mandatory safety briefings, all the required stuff that is done on the ground prior to pushback, as well as the deplaning process.
The workers are getting support from the Conservatives, urging the government to amend the labor code to ensure flight attendants are paid for every minute they're required to be at work from check-in to sign-off. Last year, Air Canada generated operating revenues of more than $22 billion. Thousands of passengers could be impacted if a deal is not reached by August 16th.
This will be a test for the Carney government to see whether they have the intestinal fortitude to let labor relations work its way through this process.
Even though Abraham has been planning his trip for months, he doesn't support government intervention, but does support fair wages for workers.
Being paid for your hours on the job, that I think is a no-brainer. I can't possibly understand why a company wouldn't do that.
In a previous statement, Air Canada said it was committed to reaching a fair and equitable contract with its flight attendants. Both sides returned to the bargaining table on Friday. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Newfoundland's premier is vowing to crack down after reports multiple people have defied a provincial fire ban.
I'm so disappointed and frustrated and angry. The province is on fire, and we only have so many assets to go around.
And Hogan is looking at stiffer penalties for anyone caught breaking the rules. Right now, fines can be as low as $75. The province is considering something closer to $25,000. Hundreds of people have been forced from their homes in Newfoundland due to wildfires, and evacuation advisories grew again today. Nova Scotians are being told to stay out of the woods. The order is drawing mixed reaction, from support to confusion, even flashbacks to the pandemic. The province hopes the ban will keep it from becoming the next wildfire hotspot. CTV's Callum Smith has more.
For a symbol of how dry it's been, look no further than Sullivan's Pond, a sight some have never seen.
Never like this. This is just incredible.
Martin Usher says the provincial ban keeping people out of the woods is well worthwhile.
The risk is too high. All you have to do is look around at the rest of the country.
Like BC, where Barry Sparks is visiting from.
We know that up near Nanaimo, there's an evacuation order for some people inside the interior of the island, but it's still dry and not very nice.
The dry spell prompting the province to take the drastic step to ban all woods activities. Now, the ban means some federal, provincial, or municipal parks are either partially or fully closed. Like, as an example, Fort Needham Park here behind me, the playground is open, but the wooded area is off limits. Halifax Fire says the conditions are particularly challenging this season.
Typically, earlier in the spring, we will respond to bulge mark fires or grass fires more frequently than we do this time of year, but because of our drought conditions, we're seeing an increase in those types of calls.
But the sweeping measures have prompted some questions.
Confusion, worried about work as a landscaper. Those are my two big concerns.
Hiking, camping, fishing, and use of ATVs in the woods are all banned, as are trail systems through wooded areas. But there's also the legal question. Is this move announced by the Premier allowed?
I think there's not much doubt that he can do it and doesn't violate the Charter, so long as he's doing it and the government's doing it in a way that's fair and appropriate, because you can restrict people's liberty as long as you do it in a fair and proportionate way.
But Wayne McKay says it's a flashback to COVID pandemic measures, and while we're only one day out, there needs to be more clarity on these rules. Thankfully for this business owner, camping is allowed, but only at campgrounds. However, coupled with a province-wide burn ban, it's not easy.
We have been seeing an influx of cancellations, unfortunately. I think where the anxiety comes in as a business owner is just what is next.
She fears campgrounds could be impacted if further restrictions are implemented. Callum Smith, CTV News, Halifax.
A Quebec judge has denied bail for 3 men facing terrorism charges. They're accused of plotting to forcibly seize land near Quebec City. 3 men face multiple charges, including facilitating terrorist activity. They'll be held in jail while awaiting trial. A 4th man was granted bail under a long list of conditions. 2 of the accused were members of the armed forces at the time of their arrest in July. Prime Minister Mark Carney is back in Ottawa, strategizing next steps in the trade war with the U.S. After nearly 90 minutes with the premiers, Ontario's Doug Ford says negotiations will be difficult. CTV's Michael Couture has more from Ottawa.
Prime Minister Carney, which counter-tariffs? The Prime Minister was tight-lipped a day after saying he'd consider removing some counter-tariffs on American goods if it would help Canadian industries. While saying he supports Mark Carney, Ontario Premier Doug Ford has a different take.
You can't have tariffs on one side and not the other. I still stand by what I say. Dollar for dollar, tariff for tariff. They understand strength, not weakness.
He was planning to deliver that message this afternoon as the premiers held a virtual meeting with the Prime Minister. Once it ended, Ford's message to Canadians is to buckle up for a rough road ahead.
I'm praying that everything's going to go fine. But if it doesn't, I got to ask the people, do you trust President Trump? I don't.
In recent days, Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe has called for Canada to remove or reduce counter-tariffs on all American goods. Some feel like the countrywide resolve is being tested.
As this has dragged on with no obvious resolution in sight, some of that determination is flagging a bit.
In an interview with CTV News on Tuesday, the U.S. ambassador to Canada cautioned that trade talks could be slow over the next weeks as U.S. President Donald Trump focuses on a deal with China. And that's why some trade experts believe Canada should refrain from retaliating.
I do think we have to hold something like a retaliation as a threat in case Trump does decide to hit us with something else.
And one example of that unpredictability, President Trump announced an additional 25% tariffs on goods from India because that country is importing Russian oil. India's tariff rate could rise to 50%. Mike Lecoulteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now, more on Donald Trump's pressure on India and Russia and other countries buying oil from Russia. That 25% tariff is in response to India buying Russian oil. The U.S. is now imposing a 50% tariff on all of the country's goods, and this comes as Washington threatened tariffs on Russia and any country trading with them. Today marks the 80th anniversary of the bombing of Hiroshima. Japan held a memorial ceremony remembering those who died when the United States dropped a uranium bomb on the city in 1945. The uranium bomb instantly killed about 70,000 people. By the end of 1945, the number of dead, including from radiation exposure, reached about 140,000. 3 days later, in the nearby city Nagasaki, the U.S. dropped a second atomic bomb. Still ahead, changes are coming to one of Canada's most popular loyalty programs.
It can't be seen as a positive, but it can't be seen as negative either. It really comes down to the individual.
How the new point system will impact you, plus. Looking at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 72 cents to the American dollar. Oil lost 81 cents, closing at $64.35 U.S. a barrel. Gold was down more than $1 on the day. The TSX and Dow Jones both ended the day higher, up by 350 points and 81 points, respectively. Accessories retailer Claire's has filed for bankruptcy protection in the U.S. and says it will do the same in Canada. This is the second bankruptcy filing in the last 7 years for Claire's. Stores in North America will stay open during the process. The chain CEO blames increased competition, spending trends, and a shift away from brick-and-mortar retail. Claire's also imports much of its goods from countries which the Trump administration has hit with tariffs. Claire's was founded in 1974 and has more than 2,700 stores across North America and Europe, including 6 stores in Edmonton. Changes are coming to how Canada's 9 million Aeroplan members can earn rewards. Starting in the new year, members will earn points based on dollars spent rather than distance flown. CTV's Pat Foran has the pros and the cons.
Starting on January 1st, Aeroplan will overhaul the way its members earn points, and the biggest change means you'll earn based on how much you spend instead of how far you go. Phil McCulley is a frequent flyer and has been an Aeroplan member for the past 20 years. He's concerned business travelers buying more expensive tickets will see the greatest benefits.
But it absolutely benefits people who travel on the max fare class. So people who fly business everywhere are disproportionately benefiting from this program than people who travel, let's say, like a lower fare class.
The majority of our members are going to be better off than they were before.
Air Canada says the changes to the loyalty program will benefit those who engage with the airline and its partners the most. Starting in the new year, you'll earn 1 Aeroplan point per dollar spent. In 2 examples on Air Canada's website, it states if you book a flight between Toronto and Montreal with a base fare of $427, you'll earn 427 Aeroplan points. In another example, if you booked a round trip from Montreal to Paris and the base fare is $1,500, under the current plan you would receive almost 7,000 points, but under the new plan you'll receive 1,500 Aeroplan points. The more you pay, the more points you'll get.
It can't be seen as a positive, but it can't be seen as negative either. It really comes down to the individual, whether these changes are good for you or not.
Rewards Canada, a website that studies loyalty programs, says those who pay more for expensive flights will achieve elite status faster and rack up more points than those who are searching for bargains.
The more you spend with the airline, the more you're going to be rewarded, whether it's elite status or with points earning as well.
The changes are also more in line with other airlines that have also moved to revenue-based models. Pat Foran, CTV News.
A Canmore man is cycling nearly 4,000 kilometers from the mountain town to Montreal for a cause close to him. Giordano Pillarella survived an avalanche last March while skiing in the Rockies. He's raising money for Mountain Muskox, a support group for those who've experienced trauma or loss in the mountains. His injuries have mostly healed, but says his mental health took a serious hit.
I felt like there was kind of like a ghost of me, like an old part of my past that I wasn't able to relive. Like I'd go to the same places that I used to ski, but I didn't have that ambition to want to like chase those goals. I think the biggest thing that's helped me is like accepting that I'm moving on in a positive way. Like, you know, like maybe I'm not able to do those things I used to do, but that's okay.
Pillarella started his trek August the 1st and hopes to make it to Montreal by the 20th. A close call for the Seattle Kraken's mascot in a furry face-off between the sea troll and a charging bear.
While we were fishing, we had a pretty close call with a couple bears. Got a bear.
Kraken forward John Hayden and the NHL team's mascot were doing some fishing in Alaska when they went from predators to prey. The group was forced to clear the zone before the growling bear gave up.
Oh, look, so.
Still to come, a magical moment.
It was unlike anything I've ever seen before.
A BC man captures more than just critters on his security camera.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk.
Before he ever imagined seeing something magical, Steve Macbeth installed security cameras to be purely practical.
Able to see who's been wandering around your place. This cat visits pretty much every night. And
whenever the camera's triggered, Steve immediately gets a notification on his phone saying if it's a human or an animal.
All sorts of critters are constantly moving past it.
But there have been a couple times when the camera captured people.
The person that walked through the front yard had actually done some break-ins that same evening.
So when he got a similar notification the other night, Steve feared the worst.
And it said that it saw a person.
And what was the person doing?
Well, it wasn't a person.
And it wasn't one of the usual animals either.
It was unlike anything I've ever seen before.
It appeared in the left corner of the screen, a bright white dot that suddenly turned and flew straight at the camera.
Well, it looked kind of humanoid.
It looked, Steve thought, supernatural.
Like it was a shimmering silver color.
A fairy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
While that magical moment was quickly replaced by a mundane explanation, it was still wonderful.
I just thought that other people would have a kick out of it as well.
So Steve took the time to post the fairy video on his local community page.
The very first one was a guy that said a rolled up newspaper would take care of that.
But after that, more than a couple people mentioned Tinkerbell. Hundreds expressed their gratitude, and tens of thousands watched the magic unfold.
Just stunned with the response to this.
But even better is seeing this video of one of his granddaughters, Isabel, watching the fairy footage for the first time, in awe.
Always remember the time their goofy old granddad got himself on TV because of the fly that flew by his security camera.
Or they will never forget that time their couldn't-be-more wonderful granddad made the effort to make his world, if just for a moment, feel like magic.
Oh, just to look for things that are unusual in life. You never know where something like that is going to pop up and be a bit of fun.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Esquimalt.
Starting to see some isolated showers and thunderstorms off to the southwest of Edmonton. Still a long ways away. At least the early evening hours look dry. Late this evening, a chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm in the area. I think it's more like showers that turn to periods of rain. That rain will stick around through tomorrow morning and then back off to some scattered showers tomorrow afternoon. A little gusty and a high of about 18 or 19, so a lot cooler than it was today. About a 10-degree drop from this afternoon to tomorrow afternoon. Warms back up for the weekend, though, after some more showers on Friday.
Sounds great. Thank you, Josh, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, you can visit ctvnewsedmonton.ca, or you can watch us on the CTV channel on YouTube.